You got me in my feelings stuttering.
Boo this man!
You just be all over the place with the music. You know what? Let me start off by saying, because this is watched. I'm gonna say Happy Father's Day.
What?
Those that's to y'all, of course, because y'all are fathers. Because
We
Well,
appreciate it. We
all
and
appreciate
right.
it.
then for all of our viewers out there, and then sending love and prayers to those who are missing a father on that day as well. So all of that. That's how I'm starting off today.
Yeah, we're very appreciative of that. And we receive those Father's Day wishes, and we in turn wish everybody a happy Father's Day when they
Hmm.
see this episode. It's gonna be Father's Day weekend, so yeah, definitely. Shout out to Benji Banks, the man, the brand. Happy Father's Day, my guy.
Phew. Same here.
Man,
And I appreciate that, Patricia. But first, I must dance. Stuttering. You
Okay.
got me in my feelings.
Anywho, I hope you guys have, get lots of love and do something or nothing, whatever your
y-
preference.
I got a dope idea, and it's gonna be super dope for Father's Day. Because my wife asked me, "What do you want to do?" And like I ain't really tripping on Father's Day. Brothers, we could chill and eat a couple sandwiches and chill in front of the game and watch
Now
TV.
that's the problem, see? And the women want this, that, and the next, and then y'all deserve this, that, and the next too.
I agree. I did set some stipulations. I don't want no tie, don't want no socks, and I don't want no
Oh
drawers.
well, yeah. No, they don't receive panties and bras, and well,
I mean, yes, they do.
I'm
Now,
just saying that's not what they're looking for.
I mean, it depends on where you get it from. But I said, you know what? I have a dope idea. They have this sous chef
Okay.
out in Port Beach where you get to pick the menu items that you want to make. So there's this Thai cuisine that you can go in. It's only 4 or 6 people are allowed in the kitchen with the chef, and you actually are in there making your food. And the chef is showing you how to make, the specific items that you pick that they have on the menu. So I'm going Asian cuisine. So I'm gonna be making some coconut shrimp, some curry, some Thai noodles, and that little thing. And it's gonna be like an actual little date. So it's gonna be super dope. You're gonna be in this dope kitchen. And it gave me this fire idea to have like a wine tasting event with a chef in there cooking, showing you how to cook, and I think that would be popping. So that's what we're gonna work with. Yeah.
well,
Okay.
that sounds dope. And Benji,
Right.
you on your own, brother, because whatever they want to do for me, they can do. I
Right.
ain't I ain't saying I don't want this. I don't want whatever you do for me, as long as it's from your heart. Do
Right.
what
Yeah.
your heart is telling you to do. If it means if you want to give me a tie, hey, guess what? I'm gonna appreciate the tie. I'm gonna rock it. I'm gonna wear it. They know not to buy me no socks because I got 100 pair of socks. They already know that. But whatever these kids want to do, man, no pressure because as people know, a lot of time on Father's Day, the fathers are not appreciated and celebrated nearly like the mothers are.
Yeah.
But I'm very appreciative and I take it. I don't take it lightly. My job as a father. I love being a father, and yeah. But nothing about me being a father is gonna make me sing a song and want to dance like Benji was doing at the beginning of the
No.
show. That brother got a song and a dance in his heart,
Every
and
time.
yeah. But that's okay. But that's okay. That's good energy, and
Love it.
we'll allow it. We'll allow it. We'll
Yeah.
allow it.
You know what I'm saying? And then like King B from Martin, you gotta throw but first, I must dance.
But first, I must dance.
Stuttering, stutter, stutter. God.
Yeah, we don't know nothing about that.
You don't know nothing
Ki-
about King
Yeah, I don't know nothing about
Chris.
you,
King
you singing,
Right.
you
And like,
dancing.
why are are you singing Joe? Or
Joe.
whose song is stuttering?
That's
Because
Joe.
he redid,
Breezy.
right?
You a Breezy fan and you don't know?
Oh, I'm taking it back to where he got it from.
Oh,
Yeah, cause we couldn't really tell what rendition
And you're
you
singing
was.
like, but okay, that one in my feeling stuttering. The Benji version is,
throwing you off a little bit.
yeah,
But it's okay. That's what it's
because the
meant to.
way you were singing it was giving more Joe than Chris Brown.
I mean, I don't know if I can give either one of their vibes because both of them brothers can sing. But
Oh, I'm glad you are aware of your inability
listen,
to amount.
Kirk Franklin said it best last night.
Oh
This
yes, yeah,
weird
yeah.
situation is I can't sing, but we could put this thing together. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell you.
You don't have to say Kirk Franklin. Franklin says, don't at yourself.
I
Well,
mean,
he had to include somebody that's his height, so you know what I'm
yeah,
He's
saying.
Kirk
Let him
Franklin.
rock.
He
I'm just
is
saying.
he is the Kirk Franklin.
There you go, Ken. You got it. You know what I'm
The
saying? Kirk,
man, the plan, Benji man, the Franklin.
shout out to shout out to the short kings out there. You know what I'm saying? They gotta stand tall in their efforts. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not tall, but it's okay. We hit with our, you know what I'm saying, our abilities.
Shout out to the booster seats, to the little stairs that you gotta have in your kitchen. Shout
Amen.
out to, the little grabbing little handle things. You gotta grab stuff. Whatever it is that you gotta utilize, the handles on a car that they sell on Amazon. If you need to put it on the thing to give yourself a little boost to get in your vehicle. Whatever it is that they use to accommodate your shortness, to make sure that you guys feel included
Man.
and able,
I mean,
capable.
right. And I appreciate that. And I'm sure a short dude created. See, we were taught in business school, in business class, that demand, deserves attention. You get what I'm saying? Where there's a demand, where there's a need, oh, I need to fulfill that. And I'm
Yep.
sure some short dude thought, you know what I'm saying? Let me make a booster seat.
Or a tall dude said, "These short suckers need help with everything, so they definitely gonna buy it. Let me go ahead and create it."
I'm just saying. You know what I'm
And
saying?
shout out to the dudes that be lying about their height too. Shout out
No,
to the
there's no
dudes
shout
that
out
be
to them because don't show
yeah.
up
Shout
and
out
you
to
look
the dudes
short.
that be lying about their height because I've run into a couple of guys who claim to be 6'5", and I'm actually
Oh yeah,
6'5". So when people, see me and they like, man, you say you 6'5", you got to be taller than that. No,
no,
I'm not
you're
taller than that.
shorter.
You're not
Yeah,
6'5".
right. That's what
See,
the problem is. The problem is you're alive.
right. You get what I'm saying? See, they got the lie. You know what I'm saying? You got the lie about being tall. We comfortable in our 5'9"ness. You know what I'm saying? I'm just glad I'm not Kevin Hart short. You get what I'm saying?
I'll take being that short if I can stand on top of my money like hell.
Oh, I mean,
Man, because
you're right about it. Right. You're right about it. Right. I stand corrected.
I'll
You're right.
take it.
yeah,
Right.
and the fact that he is so short is also it's something that they speak about. It's a speaking point. So
Yeah.
he just that alone makes people curious about him. So hey,
But you
The
know
brand,
what? Being that short is what makes him funnier too. To me, with
yeah,
you got little guys, it's certain things about little guys that just make the things that they say and they do just funnier. To see their
right.
little arms moving and to see how they, move about. You see a big guy, some of that stuff just wouldn't be as funny if he was, 6'5" versus him being 5'2". You know what I'm saying? It's just a little different. It's just like Cat Williams. He's a little guy.
Right.
So some of the stuff he does is just funny because he's a little guy.
Yeah.
it's just
The
like a
energy
little chihuahua.
behind it is big. You get what I'm saying? The energy behind it is like,
Yeah, that's
ugh.
true.
So that just gives it that extra bravado. You get what I'm saying? But it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm cool in my 5'9"ness. I ain't trying to be 6 feet. I ain't trying to be 6'5". I'm 5'9". I'm smooth and I'm cool with it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Boosters.
okay. I mean, the 6'5" buff and trying to dance. I'd be like, sit your big, like, stop it. When they be trying to dance like they freaking the section chocolate or something, I'd be like, stop it, stop it. There's a dude right now. I don't know his height though, but he's super buff, like
Yeah,
super buff black dude, and he
Yeah.
be dancing around everywhere, and he gets on my freaking nerves. I
it's
can't
two of
stand it.
them. It's
You
two
talking
of
about
them.
shark bite, dude?
It's two of them. It's the dude that's really buff with all the muscles that was
Yeah,
dancing all, and then it's a tall guy. It's a tall, kind of slender guy
the
that's
real
doing
skinny
the
dude that be
yeah,
dancing around with his
yeah,
Timberlands on. Yeah,
yeah. So it's two of
yeah.
them. You know what I'm
And,
saying?
and
And
he looks like he gonna pop out a rib or something a couple of times when he be popping.
Body
Cause
look like
he ain't got no meat on them bones. Lord Jesus, ain't none.
it's all good though. It's all right. You know what I'm saying? It
but he's
looks
going
bad.
viral. He's going
But I
viral, so
can
it's
say
working.
his dance is kind of funny. So
Yeah.
when I
Well,
see, yeah,
just like a couple of those other guys when they come up with these little silly dances and people laugh at them, then they go viral. Next thing you know, they're in a club in your town doing the dance, getting paid for it. It's like, dang, I should have been
I
doing
can't
that
knock the
dance.
hustle. He popped out with his Timberland and Cheesecake Factory, and they was the people eating was looking around crazy. It just goes. I don't know. Can't be mad at it.
All I'm gonna do is give you. All I got for you is a two-step. That's it. Stuttering.
Well, we're gonna move on from this stuttering and speaking of two step, you know what I'm saying? When you using those 2 feet you got, some people, you know what I'm saying, can't use they 2 feet because you know what I'm saying they have ailments that won't allow them to use their 2 feet, like
Mm,
Megan Thee Stallion supposedly. See, like all this stuff has been coming out the past couple of weeks about
mm-hmm,
Megan Thee Stallion and her supposedly not being shot, her foot being just fine, and then there are pictures floating around the past couple of days of her feet and people roasting her feet. So that made me want to ask this question to start the show off. Do you have a foot fetish? Because I do recall
mm-hmm,
as a kid watching the movie Boomerang and Eddie Murphy laying in the bed with a young lady and pulling the sheets back to reveal her feet. And if her feet were bad, that was going to be an indication of he was going to cut her off or not.
mm-hmm,
Right. So to me, I didn't know that at that time that's a foot fetish.
mm-hmm.
You know, people are fascinated by feet, which I'm the opposite. I don't like feet. I don't want to touch your feet. I don't want to see your feet. I don't want to have anything to do with your feet. So I mean, of course I don't want to, be around people with toe up feet, but I ain't looking at them. I ain't I ain't analyzing them. But yeah, so when you see a tall lady like Megan Thee Stallion, it's kind of hard not to look at her size 12s. But I got a baby girl. She's 6 foot, and she has size 12 shoes as
Mm-hmm.
well. And I stay on her about her feet as well. So Trisha Michelle, how do you feel about that as a woman? Do you look at other women's feet when they have on sandals, or do you look at guys' feet when they have flip flops on and their feet are exposed?
I don't have a foot fetish like
Mm.
at all. Like I'm not interested, but at the same time, I guess I only pay attention to who I'm talking to. So, or if it's a girl, like I look, like I peep colors because I mean, maybe I can get an idea, because everybody want to wear white. So, but the guy, just who I'm dating, is just more or less like, do you at least scrub your feet? Like,
Old school
do you
joke.
clip your toenails? Are they clean? And I just hope your toenails ain't going stone black because you didn't not took care of them. Just some clean kept feet is all I care about. And I don't want them to stink. That's it. No hammer toe, no whatever else they can have on that stuff. I don't want it. But at the same time, I'm not out here like, can I see your feet real quick so I can make sure like I really want to talk to you, or just staring like I'm at the water park and I'm just stuck on feet. Like I'm not
Mhm,
paying attention to all that. Now for myself, I do make sure, and I'm blessed with the ability to do it all myself after being, licensed and able to do so as a cosmetologist. So I do it myself now, but I mean, we go and get the feet done is what we usually do. So we keep it up. and we scrub every shower at the bottom with the pumice, and that's what we do.
Okay. Well, yeah, you so you're pretty much like me, where you are only concerned with it if it's around you or if it's, people that you're with. And
Yeah.
other than that, you ain't really examining everybody's feet like that. But Benji Banks, what
I won't
about
get
you,
mad if he
man?
touch me, except for if it's my son.
So-
I
Y'all sounds like y'all care more than you think. But for me, yes, I am going to analyze because I'm an analyzer from up, down, left, right, side to side, cotton candy, sweet gold, all of that. Like I'm looking as just part of the makeup, how I'm wired, right? So yeah, I want to know why you didn't lotion them foots, why your toes ain't done, why is the chip? What would make you have half a big toe with half a chip paint on it, and you didn't take nothing to get it off? You just walked out with your foots open, and you got half red, half toe. Like, what would possess you to walk out the house like that? So yeah, I'm analyzing. I'm looking because I was raised by very manicured men and women. My mom was like that. My aunts were like that. And they drilled into us, make sure you got on clean socks, make sure you lotion up, make sure. And that was like up, down, left, and right. They analyzed us left and right all day, all the time. Do your breath stink? Do this. Same went for our feet. Like lotion up. Like what's going on? Make sure you got on clean socks. So yeah, I'm paying attention. And when I was dating out in the world, yeah, that was a deal breaker in a lot of spaces, right? Because if I'm dating you and we're eventually gonna be in the same bed together, I do not want you rubbing your back, your crusty feet on my back on me and scratching me up. Like it was just part of it was just part of the thing. And when you land with your lady, if you give foot massages to like I'm giving her foot massage. And yeah, I'll scrub my lady's toes. Like that's the type of, I mean, not toes, her feet. Like the heel, make sure that crust. And man, for the life of me, if you got them crusty backs on the back of your foot, and like you got the crack pulling up on the back of them joints, and it looked like the concrete in the middle of the street on the freeway, do not wear no flip-flops with your heels out. It's like, man, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
In my Boosie voice. Like it just so yeah. So I'm the type of dude, I'm like, yeah, go, I'm paying for you to go get your feet done and your nails done and stuff like that. Cause yeah, at the end of the day, I like to see you manicured. And that's kind of where I settled it. But it was a deal breaker. I ain't gonna lie to you.
What
That's
if you said the ones that got the crack going up the back of their foot like the street don't wear no sandals? What are they supposed to do when they go to the beach? Like, what if they're unable to contain that? Because some people have very dry caked on. They go to a podiatrist for this type of stuff, and they still can't get it together. What do you want them to do since you don't want them to wear sandals?
You can wear socks to the beach, can't you?
What the hell?
But in this instance, think about it this way. They got the heel. Listen, I don't research this. They got the little heel joint killer, like the little scrubber, like you're doing Shanae's feet on what you call, you can sand the whole back of that joint and get all of that crust off the back of your foot and heal the back of your crack of your foot. Because you know what I'm saying? That's dryness. Your fat on the back of your foot is starting to thin and get lesser and lesser. So you're going to have to manicure the back of that skin. You get what I'm saying? Like that's part of the process. So it's like you got to take time to manicure and take care of yourself. This is
One
how
thing, okay, let me say something.
go
Because
ahead.
that's true. Yes, you do want to like scrub it down and get it as low as you can and soak the feet and get off all the dead skin and the dryness and wrap
Mm-hmm.
them babies in some aquaphor or whatever, some gloves and let it sit if you need to, Vaseline, whatever. But at the
E-box.
at the same time, they even sell like foot. Oh, they do now, ladies. If you do not know, I know they're at Target. I don't know. They sell like foot masks that you actually put on your foot and strap it and let it sit on there for the time that it says, and you take it off, and it's gonna look normal, feel all moisturized. Over the next 2 to 3 days, all the skin is peeling off, all the
Uh,
dead skin gonna peel right off. But so what I can say though is that sometimes, depending on, so if I knew I was going like out of town, I would have, and I went to go get a pedicure, I only would allow them to lightly scrub my foot. And
right.
here's the reason: because your foot, like, it also builds like up a callus, right? I wear heels. So if you're a heel wearer, a freshly scrubbed down, raw, no more like built up, your feet are gonna freaking burn in hell. They're
Right.
gonna hurt. They're gonna hurt so bad, and it's going. And I never get tired in heels. I did that one time, and I went all in. Give me the all the bells and whistles. Scrub them things down, right?
Right.
And I went out, and I promise you, 15 to about 30 tops. I could not stand in my heels anymore.
Wow.
And I could not understand why, because that ain't me. Everybody know, they'll be like, "Don't you want to sit down? Like, your feet don't hurt?" Like, I'm like, "No, I'm good."
Right.
Like, so that's also a tough balance that we have to deal with as a woman. If we know we're gonna be in heels, we can't go all the way down to the buttock down just because that's what you like, when we got to be in them heels like that.
But see, now I told you I grew up around women. There's a more natural way to do it. See, I come from the era where I saw women walking around to soften their feet. They were in plastic bags in the middle of the night. They slept with plastic bags on their feet.
Well, yeah,
So
but
this stuff
you
I
still
saw
need
growing
the
up, and
build
I'm
up.
sitting there tripping like, what the heck is she doing? And
Well,
then
y'all
you
ladies, you don't need
that's
a plastic bag no more.
well, I mean, yeah, not no more, but because they got, more upgraded ideas on
Yeah,
how to get all of that done, right? But like I said, as a little boy, I'm watching my aunts and all of them walk around with plastic bags on their feet, and I'm sitting there tripping like, what is wrong? What is going on? And you got to ask those little questions, right? Because I grew up in a house with women. I had my brothers, my cousins, my uncles. They was all around. But we all know, when you got a woman in the house and they free and fun in the house, you start to see all their little tricks to the trades. And so these are little things that I learned, and I'm sitting back like, what the heck? But you live and you learn, right? So that's kind of the space where I come up in. So I'm used to seeing a woman before she even stepped out the house. She wouldn't even step out the house looking a mess.
if
So
she
if
got to
I,
go to the nail shop, she got to step out the house looking a mess.
but most of them knew how to do it themselves too. They just didn't want to
Oh
do
yeah,
it.
back then they was more in a lot of DIY. They
Right,
that paint their toenails, scrub their feet down. Now we have the shops, and so you got to
right,
get to the shop. And sometimes before the shop might be a drop off, a pick up some food, this and that, then
right.
hit the shop. So you see her in the store, and you like, ugh, oh, stank feet out, and she like, I'm trying to get there, like, and so
But you
but
woman who's used to doing it and one that just never really does it. You know the difference. Like, you've seen the difference.
I,
You
I
know it.
I I can't tell. A chipped toe is a chipped toe in the store. A cracked out heel is a cracked out heel. I'm not sitting there like, oh, she just look at her face. She look like she don't do this
And
often.
see, that's why I don't put too much stock into it. I'm
Right.
with Benji on the fact of, you can look at a woman feet and tell whether she has been, she's taking care of it over time, or whether she's just totally let it go. But
Yeah.
I'm not looking at a woman's feet in the store with, chip paint on her toenail, because she might have just did that when she got out the car.
Man, it's
Because
bad.
but check this out though, because look at the thing. As a guy, I can't do that, because if that's the case, if a woman looks at me and my beard isn't cleanly shaven every time, or isn't freshly lined up, or my hair isn't freshly faded every time, it's the same thing.
It
We
is.
can't put those type of requirements on somebody, and we don't meet the same thing. We don't meet the same criteria. So I'm not expecting her to be, 100% every time I see her, right? I'm understanding, but at the same time, you can tell whether somebody has caked
Yes.
up, you know what I'm saying, on the back of their foot,
And when they
something
just
like
don't
that.
care. Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
you can tell a difference. It's just like you can tell a difference between somebody who takes care of their car and somebody who doesn't. If they got a
That
little
too.
scratch here and there, I'm not gonna say, man, your car is raggedy because it got a little scratch here and there. Because I mean, hey, we all park our cars places, and they might get a little ding here and there. We don't want that, but it happens. But
It's
if
true.
somebody has a paint, the paint's peeling all over the car, that's a different, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? That's a different approach. So, but yeah, I still don't put too much stock into it, as long as your feet are not raggedy totally and, crusty looking and stuff like that. But the biggest thing is keep them moisturized and
fact.
keep them maintenance, you know what I'm saying? And you don't have to have your toenails painted and do all that stuff, but just keep them looking nice.
Value,
Keep them clean.
value,
Yeah, especially if you like to put your feet, because I'm the type I like my legs is gonna be intertwined, feet, all that. So I need them to be soft if they're gonna be all touching on him.
that's
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. That's
Yeah,
all.
Benji sucks toes, so he needs the
yeah. So he's on a
the
different level with
yeah,
this.
so he on a different level with this. So I'm not putting feet in my mouth. So
I
I'm
mean,
not.
So my boyfriend is very much like Ken, like when it comes to feet.
you got to be
Because
clean.
I could set him on his lap and be like, "Yo," I know he don't like it, so I'm gonna play with it. And they clean and everything, and I'll be like, "Don't you want to massage him?" He was like, "No."
Got to be clean.
And
That's
he already go, why would you think I want to do that? And ain't
fair.
nothing wrong with my feet. So that's just he don't care for feet. Like he'll be like, no.
I'm all I'm saying is that when you set the expectation, some people are going to hold you to it, or they're going to help you maintain it.
Yeah, and that's okay.
That-
And that's the part
that-
right there, the helping maintain.
right,
If
that's your
you have a
thing.
bar,
Right. If your thing is a clean car all the time, and that's your expectation, hey, I'm dropping your car off. I'm getting your car clean for you. That's
yeah,
the
okay.
expectation. Like, first thing I'm looking at, my wife, no. Like, when you going to get your toes done, she don't really. It ain't something she let go anyway, because it's just the standard, right? So that's just the thing. And what color you thinking about today? That's
I
interesting.
was just gonna ask you, are you one of those type that need to choose the color?
No, because I love color, right? So if, like, even if I'm buying her like heels or something or whatever, right? It just looks good when the toes match the heel, right? Like, you get ideas, you get thoughts. It just looks good, right? It's just part of the process.
But what if?
Hmm.
Because the frequency of the wearing of that same heel with the amount of time in between pedicure and that nail color, it ain't always gonna be
No, it ain't gonna always match. No,
okay. I'm just making sure you understood that. Like
no,
she ain't changing that nail color every time she put on a separate heel.
nah.
Gosh,
That's overboard in my world, right? But for the most part, she's gonna have colorful heels, right? Because I like color, right? So most of her heels aren't standard one color. So there are a multiplicity of colors that kind of match overall. It's like color scheme. It's like me putting on a tie and a suit and a shirt. Like, I'm gonna match it in a three-tone type, unless I'm just doing some black standard, whatever. I'm gonna match it in three-tone. You get what I'm saying? So that's just kind of how it pops, and it just looks good. So
I mean, hey, it is what it is. Everybody to each his own with your feet. Okay.
all right. You know what I'm saying? It's all right. We've been talking about this for a while.
All right, let's transition to some of our hot topics, man. Because we got a few things to discuss this week. A lot going on, but as usual, we're gonna pick out a few things that maybe the local news didn't cover for you. Maybe we have a different spin to it, so we want to talk about a few things that'll be interesting, a few things that'll be just informative. So we're gonna kick it off with some of the airline stuff that's been going on. Now, y'all know my favorite airline, and I talk about it all the time. I never hide it. It's Southwest Airlines, but
Woo-hoo.
but listen, Southwest Airlines has been on the news because of their baggage,
Yeah.
changes that now they're going to be charging for bags. Um, and that hurt my feelings a little bit, but this hurt their feelings because Southwest Airlines is being sued for $200,000 by a
What?
passenger that slipped on an ice cube. Listen, I ain't gonna even lie to you. I'm not gonna even hold you. If I'm on the flight and I slip and fall, I might.
Ain't no, I might.
I
Tell her
might, I
like it
might, I
is.
might, I might be the same person. I might be like, I love y'all, but let me get that bread. Let me get that bread.
Yeah.
Oh, my neck, my back, my neck and my back. Oh.
I love y'all, but I need that money.
I
Run
need
it.
that money because my
But
back
we
hurt.
settled out of court for $50 in an envelope.
Nah, I need all my money.
What's wrong with him, man? Something ain't right with him right here, man.
Yeah, nah, he can settle out of court. I ain't
Right.
sell.
'Cause
I need mines.
absolutely not.
Whatever we got to do, I need it because but yeah, I mean, in this day and time, anytime somebody has a slip and fall, there's going to be an investigation into it, but at certain points, some of these places and some of these businesses will rather pay the money and, hush all the wildfire before it
Oh,
even
yeah.
gets started because
Uh-huh.
they don't want to, damage the brand. So, in this case, I don't know what's gonna happen, but $200,000 to a place like Southwest Airlines is nothing, and I
Right.
know they got insurance for this type of stuff, so it's
Yep.
probably gonna go pretty fast, and he or she is probably gonna get their 200K minus the lawyer fees, I'm sure,
Mm-hmm.
and and going about their merry way.
They'll walk away with $50 in an envelope. I'm telling you.
Yeah, they're gonna slide away with that 200,000. Probably about 100 when they get done.
Yeah. They
Mm,
Yeah.
80.
yeah.
Well, they're gonna have more money than they did when they got on their plane. So, kudos to them. Get your money.
Yeah,
Shout out,
yeah.
shout out to Southwest though, because we just flew them when we came back from Texas. They didn't charge us for extra bag skin, so that's a bonus. But I actually respect the fact that they didn't try to push us through a Dallas thunderstorm. They was like, we wait. So we waited 5 hours, but we got home. So shout out to Southwest and we was on their new jet too. That joint was nice. That joint was nice. So
Yeah.
shout out to Southwest. Shout out to Southwest.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, most of these airlines, outside of Southwest as well, are not gonna fly in that because it's really not up to the airline. It's
Yeah.
up to the aviation, what I'm saying, at the actual airport itself. I'm glad they didn't
Right,
try to fly y'all out in that storm because it was crazy.
right.
And yeah, I'm glad y'all made it back to Cali safely for sure, for sure.
Facts.
um you know we live in a day and time too where people are always coming up with these weird ideas, and we talked about this situation on the last episode where we have a young lady, an actress in Hollywood, Sydney Sweeney, who was selling soap infused with her bath water. Well, we got an update. Her bath that bath water soap sold out in minutes and is currently reselling on eBay for up to $1,600 a bar. Chris Michelle, I told you. I
We
told you.
told you.
You
I think
need
it's the stupidest thing in the
you
world.
you got fans that will be interested in buying your soap infused bath water infused soap.
Did
So
you jump on the trip? Did you even think about it, Patricia? Did you even
No,
trip?
saying
no,
they'll
not
buy it.
not no part of me. No,
Mm-mm.
absolutely not. And
Mm-mm.
that's great for her though, and that sucks for the individuals that bought it. But yeah,
Well, it's very interesting that we live in a day and time where people will buy just about anything.
Right.
I've got questions
Throw them out because
because how your bath water is dirty water.
Mhm.
Like, how is that bar of soap useful after that? Like, if you put it back on you or in, well, I don't know what they're doing with it, washing your face. Like, what if you get some type of like bacterial skin infection from it now because you didn't put somebody's dirty bath water slash soap that you thought the soap was going to knock off the bacteria? Like, how the heck are they? How is this okay? How is this passed in reference to like being okay to use or have?
Listen,
some brothers, just some dudes of the Caucasian descent, I
Oh,
would think,
Lord.
mainly because it sounds like something from the mountains of
You'd be
Caucasus.
surprised.
But I think they would relish or revel, in the idea that, oh my gosh, I got her bath water and it gave me a little rash on my arm. I mean, you never know. If you're going to buy it and you already know it's bath water, I'm saying, I think you're really rolling with the consequences of, because now in social media day, hey, yo, buddy, man, I got a so-and-so and I got a rash from you. Now
Okay, so not everybody is a cowabunga white boy. So we'll start off with that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. They probably super excited. So you can, Patricia, you can have dudes out here, you know what I'm saying, black brothers that, you know what I'm saying, be
You
like,
gotta stop. You gotta stop saying dudes because we live in this 2025, man. Women
I
buying this
can have
so
women
too.
buy my bath water. You don't know.
Women buying this so too. I guarantee you.
I
I
guarantee you it's some
guarantee
women that's buying that soap.
you.
already knowing. I
Like
seen.
just like the stuff that we were talking about with the feet in general, men and women. It's gonna be across the board.
Yep.
Whatever you identify as, we'll go and buy that.
I believe that 100%, which is why if you need some management and you need somebody to market it for, I got your back like a car seat. I'm just
You need Jesus. Sit down.
Man.
Sit
we can
down.
have Pro Beauty Supply because I know it's gonna sell out.
Well,
Okay.
just like I just said, people will buy anything, right? So
Right.
in the essence of that, McDonald's is always coming out with something. So this is, what I'm saying, shout out to my big back individuals out there who will eat anything that these restaurants come out with that's experimental because the first thing they do when they see it is say, "Ooh, I like that. I want to try that." Every time. I mean, literally everything that they see on TV that comes out new, they big back just gets the itching and they like, man, you know what? I need to try that.
Big back, big back.
McDonald's is releasing a new Hershey S'mores McFlurry this month, and
I'm guilty.
people on social media are already jumping at it. They like, man, I need to try that. I'm gonna need to try
I
that.
promise you, I was just in the drive-through today getting me because I will get me. I'm guilty of fresh French fry with a Coke from McDonald's. So I
Oh,
was
Okay.
sitting there and I seen the sign and I was like, "Ooh,
you can get one.
s'mores." I said, "S'mores McFlurry though." Like I don't have to pull back through one of these days. So you over here describing me? I am she is she is me because
Right.
Big Back is gonna be there. I am going to be there. I want two of them, please. Thank you.
Oh man.
So you haven't
Extra
tried.
s'mores, please. Extra s'mores, please.
So you haven't tried it yet, officially
Not
yet.
yet, but I will be. I just seen it today. At 2:30 today. I seen it, and by
Please,
2:30 tomorrow, I will have one.
please report back into the chat and let us know
Oh, you know I
because
will, because I
I
will probably have one tomorrow.
would like to try one. I can't lie.
Oh yeah,
Well, you're not officially big back because the big back individuals buy it immediately.
Yes.
They say immediately,
I
like
bought
they don't
nothing
no
but cakes,
hesitation.
pineapple upside down buntlet. I don't even know why. I just want it was different,
Want to try it. Tickle
and they
your
had a new s'mores buntlet too. I bought that one, and I was only there to pick up my niece's birthday cake, but they had two flavors, so I said, "Let me get both of them."
Hey, sometimes you just gotta seize the moment.
big back.
Maybe I was hungry. I'm not sure.
Just gotta
Big
seize the moment.
back.
Yeah, but McDonald's is always gonna come out with things, and because they're so mainstream that every time they announce something, people gonna want it. So
Yeah,
yeah, people been talking about that on social media. So hey, but
I'll be
we're at that
updating
time of the
y'all.
year, summer moving forward. Usually, snack starts coming out, and new technology and stuff because we're gonna lean toward the holiday season. So they gotta
Yep.
get geared up for that. But you already know too, if you're an Apple fan, that September is always special because that's when Apple releases the new phones, the new
Right.
technology, the new operating system. So they got a
So
new
if you
operating
know, you
system.
know. June is when they do their to let you know, and then it
Yeah, to
comes
let you
out.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Hmm.
actually comes out in September. So they did actually talk about the new operating system already this month, and it'll be iOS 26 coming in September. And it's got some very, very dope features to it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm an Apple fan. I don't, join the conversations of Apple versus Samsung and all this Android and all this stuff. Hey, whatever you use, you use. I use it for business and when I do my gigs for DJing and editing and stuff like that. Works very well seamlessly for me.
Yeah, for sure.
So I love Apple products. Been using them for a decade or more for sure. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm always looking forward to having new features. And even if it's down to the emojis, the little different emojis that they come out with, you know what I'm saying? And I'm an emoji person. So shout out to the emoji people out there. Some people just send you basic messages and basic, just bland stuff. Your boy don't do that. If you text with me, you already know whether you're male or female, it's going to be appropriate for male or female, but I'm going to use some emojis when I text people because that's what it's for.
Yeah, for sure. I like that new little. He look a little smoked out, but he tired. My sister calls him the crack fiend
Oh wow.
because his
Yeah.
eyes. I said, I don't know. I think he tired or something. Do you know which one I'm talking about? Where he look a little.
Yeah. I love sending them, and I also love especially sending them to my kids
Yeah.
because they're like, "Dad, you use emojis?" I'm like, "Yeah." I mean,
Why not?
I mean,
Sometimes
but
it
that
helps though, because
yeah,
my kids might not understand. You get that one that's cussing out with the little cuss marks on it. I'm mad. I need you to understand that it's not a happy moment for y'all. I'm pissed.
Right.
So we're gonna put that emoji in there with it.
yeah. I use emojis and
Sometimes it's just
gifs.
in that.
Yeah, I use the emojis and the gifs all the time.
All
Yeah,
day.
Yep.
yeah,
So I love using those, and it's always new technology coming out, constantly. And of course, when you have Apple coming out with stuff, you got PlayStation cooking up some new stuff. So Xbox is not going to be far behind. Microsoft is never going to be far behind. So this year, Microsoft is coming out with a new handheld console, right?
yeah.
Nintendo just came out with their new Switch 2. So, you got to be competitive. So Xbox got a handheld, got two handheld Xbox consoles coming out the holiday season. So if your child is an Xbox fan, or you're an Xbox fan, now you got something else to buy and spend your money on and I'm sure it's gonna be 200 north of $200 for sure.
Oh,
Um,
My
you know,
the
son
Switch
is
Two
a
was four
PS5.
fifty.
go
The
ahead.
the Switch Two was 450. So
What?
yeah, yeah.
Oh no. I'm good.
Games are 80 to $90.
Yeah,
Hmm.
no, I'm good.
Yeah,
He
it'd be a switch away from playing games because I because I ain't spending that type of money on no game no
no.
Yeah.
more. Mm-mm.
Stick to your regular game console. Yeah, you'll be all right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm gonna pay that much money, I might as well just get the traditional game console. But I'm pretty sure with those, like my daughter has the original Switch, and you can plug it into the home base and hook it up to your TV and use it
Right.
like what I'm saying, a traditional game. Because I use her Switch and they have the Nintendo Classic games for free
Oh.
on there. So I play, Bad Dudes, Double Dragon, Mario, and stuff like that for free. And they also have compatible classic remotes. So if you want to play the regular Nintendo, they have the regular Nintendo remote pieces that go to it. Or if you want to play Super Nintendo, they have the remote that is the same Super Nintendo remote. So it's pretty dope. They even have an Xbox one. I mean, not Xbox one, but Nintendo 64. Nintendo 64 controller that goes with it to play Nintendo 64 games. So it's pretty dope, man. Like I said, we grew up in the age of video games. I think I like to say that we're that first generation in the 80s that really got, drawn into a lot of video games. Even though there was, Atari, Commodore 64, before us, before we were born. But we were the first generation to really get engaged in video games at home.
Right.
Because before us, they had, like I said, the Atari Commodore 64, but the arcades were bigger than the home entertainment units that we developed. And then when the regular Nintendo came out, that just killed the whole game. And then from that point forward, everybody was playing video games at home, and that's when you saw, I think, the slow death of arcades around
Right.
that time, right?
Right.
Because when we were kids, we loved going to the arcade, but we got the Nintendo, Sega Genesis,
Don't
Super
need to.
Nintendo, PlayStations. They don't need to go to the arcade no more.
Got that on the big screen TV at the house. Oh yeah, I
You gotta
do.
say it right, man. You ain't say it right. You say big screen. You gotta say big screen
Screen.
with an M. Big
Or and
screen TV.
but you see, you got to say you said Nintendo, Nintendo. You got to take the N in, the N and
No, the Nintendo was that. That's old people saying it.
old
Oh,
people. Yeah,
yeah, old people say I ain't. I wasn't old. I wasn't old. I
I'm
ain't
about to say,
old
so you
now.
trying to make them old?
Nintendo.
I ain't said no. That's my grandma. Them they put that. Don't take that Nintendo and put the Nintendo and hook it up to that TV. You gonna
Yeah,
mess the color up. You
yeah.
gonna mess the color up on my TV.
Hey, they really used to say that. Like,
Say that. That's fact.
they
They
really used to
fact.
say that you're gonna mess the TV up. You're gonna mess the color
Yes,
up.
Yeah,
yes. You
I
gonna mess
remember
the
the
color
day.
up.
We couldn't use the TV up front because Grandma wouldn't allow it. So yeah,
But I will say this before we move on. There were some TVs back then that the way the technology was in some of those TVs
wasn't.
and the way the color patterning was on the game system, it would burn an image into the actual screen. So you had to be careful with which TVs you hooked the game system up to because it wasn't made for that. So that's why they were like that
Okay.
because it happened to some TVs. So it just became a thing where, everybody was talking about it. And, of course, back then, no social media. So you just heard about, by ear. So everybody just freaked out and was like, yeah, don't hook it up to your TV because it'll mess it up. so,
Right.
so yeah, some folks was playing Nintendo on a black and white TV back then. So shout
And
out to y'all.
shout out to Nintendo.
All right. Well, we live in an age now where, with the technology, of course, but we don't look at a lot of TV, a lot of cable TV or anything like that. Cable gone, satellite gone. Everything is app based, right? So when you think about the biggest apps that people watch TV on, what's the first one that comes to your mind, right? So for me, the first thing that comes to my mind, the first thing I check every morning, the first thing I utilize is Hulu. So Hulu got bought out by Disney completely. So
Mm,
Disney now owns Hulu completely after paying $439 million to Comcast for the remaining 33% of their ownership. So now they own it outright. So
Oh wow.
it's going to be interesting now because Hulu and Disney, if you have both apps on your TV, you notice that there's some carryover between the stuff that they have available. Now I'm interested to see what else is going to be available because Hulu has some aspects of ESPN, and ESPN is a Disney company. So I'm just wondering, like, at some point, are we going to see all of those apps kind of merge, right?
Yeah.
Into one thing because I mean, I know they're not trying to really do that because they want you to pay for these different apps. But I would want to have one app, man, where I could just kind of enjoy all of it at the same place. So, makes
Well,
sense to me.
if you go on to Disney Plus, through Disney Plus, you can access ESPN and Hulu and everything all in one app to
right.
utilize the feature. So they
But it's only
probably
a
will
certain part of
eventually.
it. But it's only a
Yeah.
certain part of it, right? You can't access the full thing. So in order for you to access the full, the
Yeah.
full gambit of stuff that they offer, you have to go to the full app,
Mm,
right? So I'm wondering with this transition, are they going to start offering everything through one app possibly? Because I mean, versus
yeah.
me paying this, I'm saying these different fees, charge me one fee and let me have access to it all.
Well, at that point they should because it's the same company now. Now
Right.
you are them and they are you. So you better not charge me.
Yeah, so yeah, shout out to them because I'm definitely a big Hulu fan, and actually on Hulu right now, I'm watching the new version of the new season of 60 Days In. So shout out to people who watch 60 Days In.
You gotta check that out.
Yeah, you definitely do. Yeah, they're on season 9 right now, so yeah, it's a lot of entertainment. So check it out.
Okay.
All right, so me and Benji always talk about investments, right? And when I talk to people about investments, people have this thought in their head of, investing their money and seeing a quick turnaround, but they don't understand that, when you invest money, it takes a time. It takes some time to, kind of be patient, invest your money here and there, take some out, sell, buy, but some people have have it down to a science, and and they started early. So when you talk about people like Warren Buffett was on an interview and he talked about how he makes money daily from an investment that he made in Coca-Cola.
Hmm?
So get this. Warren Buffett still earns $2 million per
Oh my
day
God.
from his Coca-Cola investments he made between 1988 and 1994.
Yes, he has uh, thousands. If I'm not mistaken, I think he actually has over 1 million shares of Coca Cola. It's which is crazy when you think about it. $2 million a day off
Yeah.
of what he paid in '88, and if I'm not mistaken, the Coke stock back then was, let's say, like $10.
I don't know, but
It
that's $2
that
million a day
too.
is
It is,
crazy.
yes,
730 million.
But, and see, this is the thing. I read one of Warren Buffett's books, and he's big on making money while you sleep. That's
right,
one of the things that he repeats a lot. So when you make money, without even thinking about it, things that you can invest in and just let it do what it does on its
Right.
own, like you're not really working for that income. Um, those are the times where you're talking about building real wealth,
right,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you build that. People think that I'm gonna be, a professional football player. I'm gonna be this person, that person, and I'm gonna make all this money. But that's not that's being rich.
right,
You know what I'm saying? Wealth is over time. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
as they talk about generational wealth, are your grandkids gonna be rich? And man, Warren Buffett, do you understand? Like everybody that's around him, that's attached to him, I'm pretty sure has had an opportunity to build some type of wealth, right?
Yeah.
What's
And
What's dope about it though, Ken, is those tips. Think about it. Those tips are from he's giving us tips from 1988. Something that has been working that long and effective, you can't frown at that. Like, and a lot, believe it or not, a lot of people do frown at the concept, and the concept still rolls on when you think about it. From Bitcoin to Nvidia to Microsoft to Google to all, and the concept is still there. And a lot of people won't even take the opportunity. They still believe it's a hoax.
well, you just have to be comfortable with, what I'm saying, like taking a risk.
Yeah.
When you invest in money and things, as much as you earn, you'll lose some as well. So you just have to be okay with that. And in the long run, if you pay attention to it and, really invest time in learning, the things that you're investing your money into, it'll pay off. So
Right.
if you want to retire and have money later on in life and set yourself up as well as your kids and your grandkids and so on and so forth, you're gonna have to do that by investing in some things, man. You're
Right.
not gonna be able to do that by working a 9 to 5. It just won't do.
Yeah, you ain't gonna. Yeah, ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. So speaking of people that's wealthy, man, athletes are always wealthy for a period of time at least.
Right.
So, hopefully these guys are listening when you talk about investment, but two athletes that we've been seeing lately are having a huge fight coming up, and it's these two young men.
Mhm.
Canelo and Crawford are
Oh,
fighting September 13th on Netflix. But my question is, will this stream have the same issues like the Tyson and and Paul fight famously had because Netflix was struggling that night?
facts.
Wow.
I,
So,
I wonder. I do wonder about that though, and I wonder if it's going to do that. I would hope it wouldn't, because yeah, I like that fight, even though I think Crawford gonna get slept. But I mean, hey, we'll see.
Yeah, well, we gonna make sure we make sure we clip that because Benji said Crawford is gonna get slept. I just want to see a good fight, but let me tell you this: I don't think that stream is gonna have the issues. Number one, I think Netflix learned whatever issues they had,
Exactly.
and they're gonna fix it. But this is gonna be a hot take, and a lot of people might disagree. Not that many people are gonna be watching it as to watch that Paul and Tyson fight, right? Um, to me, the Paul and Tyson fight, we had generations of people who loved Mike Tyson who wanted to see that fight. You had grandmothers, you had aunts, you had people who generally don't watch boxing watching that fight.
Right.
So you're not gonna have that number of people trying to watch this fight. It's just not gonna do the numbers.
Yeah,
So,
Crawford isn't a major draw. He doesn't do massive numbers when it comes to pay-per-view and stuff like that. He doesn't draw a major appealing audience like that. The
but none of
major
these fighters are gonna do that. None of these fighters are gonna draw as many people as that Tyson fight. You're talking
Canelo
about
Canelo is a beast.
no,
I mean,
no,
he is, but
no,
you have to
no.
understand. You have to understand what Ken is saying. This
Yeah,
brought out people that ain't paid attention to the
Yeah,
sport
people
in,
right,
that ain't even
in
pay
right,
forever.
attention to
Like, and
nothing.
so those people went back to their regular lives because they're back to not
Yes,
caring anymore. They only
right.
came
yeah,
out
they
for
don't.
Tyson.
Yeah, they
So
don't care
Crawford,
about fighting like that.
Yeah,
exactly. So
I,
Crawford's same fan base, they're gonna step out for Canelo and Crawford, and but that still is nothing amounted to the amount of people that wanted to
see,
partake in what at the time was history, for Tyson back on, and so it brought out his old fans, new fans,
right,
that's different than what we're gonna see for this. So they're not gonna see that same amount of people tuning
right.
in. So they're gonna be fine. I
Mhm.
think that was probably their biggest. That's probably the biggest that they
I
would
think they
ever have gotten to.
underestimated. I think
Yeah,
I
they
would
underestimated big time.
I
absolutely.
agree with that, and also the fact again that Crawford is not a major draw. It's not going to be massive like that. Canelo's going to draw the ratings because he's trying to reach billionaire status in as a boxer. So I'm sure he'll get a lot. But the fact that Crawford isn't the main draw, two fighters have to make that draw. Like, was it Jake Paul? He fought Jake Paul, right? Tyson, was it Jake Paul?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it really, I'm telling you, it was Tyson.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That
Jake,
name,
Jake Paul will make me not want to watch,
that
yeah,
but
name sold that fight. Just
but
hearing the name Mike Tyson is fighting anything, anywhere
right,
is gonna draw a crowd of people.
right,
That's just like when he fought Roy Jones. A lot more people watched that fight than they thought.
yeah,
right,
it's just a
So
hands down, no questions asked. Oh, who's fighting? Oh yeah, I'm watching. Like
yeah,
that's what happened. And that's grandmas, aunties, this is teenagers. This is the every single generation was watching that fight.
look
that's
at
a
how
fact.
many people watching the finals right now, right? The finals, NBA finals is having issues because they're not drawing the crowds that they used to draw, right?
Right,
But I bet you if they said Michael Jordan is gonna play somebody one on one, another old player one on one,
massive.
how much you want to bet that people will watch that before they'll watch this NBA finals?
Oh no, that's
Oh,
a fact.
facts. I'm tuned in, and I'm not missing
If
a
you put
second.
Jordan versus whatever and say, "Hey, we're gonna run this one-on-one on Netflix," yeah, it would be massive.
Massive.
Oh yeah,
It'd be massive. It'd be massive. Yeah.
they can
Yeah,
play horse. We
Coming, the
watching.
fact that he's coming to NBC to be a commentator is going to drive the ratings like crazy. So,
that's why they paying him $40 million a year.
no,
Wait, say what? What I miss? Who coming where?
Michael Jordan is
it's
gonna
gonna be
be a commentator,
on
and
NBC
they NBC, and they're paying him $40 million a season.
on basketball. He's gonna. I don't know if he's gonna talk just basketball, which I would think he would.
Yeah, he ain't doing nothing else.
That makes a whole lot of sense. Why they? Wow,
Yeah,
dang.
he ain't doing nothing else.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nah, he definitely
Okay.
ain't doing nothing else. If he did something else, it would be NASCAR or something like that because he's involved in that. But
Right.
I see this as purely basketball.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
would agree.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, Jordan.
So,
Starting next season.
so
So
that's gonna be interesting. You're gonna have, Charles Barkley and Shaq them and the crew moving around to ESPN, and then you're gonna have Jordan on NBC. It's gonna be must see TV
yeah,
before the
Yeah,
game even starts.
man. Like I'm like,
I want.
tell me which channel. I'll be popping back in and out.
Yep.
I want to hear what his first. I want to see what the first thing they're going to push out there from him? Is he going to give us what is he going to talk about? You get what I'm saying? Like, I know it's basketball, but what is going to be the first thing? What is he going to cover? Games? Like, that's what I want to know. So it's going to be interesting. I want to see that. Is he going to be in like that Tony Romo space where he's actually commentating on the games, or is he just going to be like a halftime reporter or something like that?
He ain't gonna be no halftime reporter. I
I
can
don't
tell you
know.
that. No, I can tell you that. Like, dog, it's Michael Jordan.
Right.
You're not gonna have Michael Jordan no halftime reporter. You know what I'm saying? Mike is gonna be at the desk talking basketball. Now,
Mm-hmm.
what capacity that is, we don't know.
Hey,
And
hey,
I'm
hey, what's the dude's name? Ahmad Rashad space? Or what you think?
No, because Amara Rashad kind of moves around. Sometimes he's on the sideline, sometimes he's at the desk. They're not gonna have Mike working like that, bro. I'm sure of it.
He
I'm
ain't doing
sure
all
of
that.
it. Mike's name alone is gonna bring viewers.
Oh yeah,
Period.
facts.
So yeah, so he's not gonna have to work. They have him there because his name draws people.
Oh yeah.
So and they need
You,
the ratings.
you
So
get to see Mike do something different besides sitting on the sideline. The fans and viewers are gonna be there.
yeah,
Like for sure.
That's gonna be crazy. I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
yeah. And speaking of Mike, when it comes to movies, there's a guy who people often refer as the Michael Jordan of movies, and that's Denzel Washington, right?
Huh?
You've seen Denzel in a lot of movies lately, right? In the past year or two, like he's been all over the place. Well, it's not going to stop because guess what? He's going to be part of the Black Panther 3 crew. Director Ryan Coogler confirms that Denzel Washington will be in the movie. So that's big. Ryan Coogler, of course, is hot right now because he also directed Sinners. So, man, that dude has been on a tear with
Yes.
his movies, and so has Denzel. So, when you combine those two, I'm looking forward to seeing Black Panther
I'm
3.
like,
I was already looking forward to seeing it, but
Yeah.
now, I mean, Denzel's in it. I definitely got to see it now. I got to go to
that's
the
like
theater and see
that's like
that.
Tyson, hands
Right.
down. I'm watching it.
Exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
watching it.
Right.
Like that's my guy, Denzel. I'm watching it. Like,
And these are he's I think he's only going. I think he's going to be retired. Well, at least he said he's only going to do a few more films. So it looked
yep.
like he's headed toward retirement. So he's going to go out with a bang in some of the best movies that we got out there. So that's going to be interesting. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he had about 5 maybe on his list of things that he had left under him that was already planned. He didn't state the couple of the last bottom of the 5, so I guess this was one of them. So
Right.
yeah, I'm excited. He going out with a bang.
Major. And to support Coogler, because the dope thing about it that came out is how Denzel supported I'm forgetting.
Amari Hardwick,
No, not him. What was the brother that passed? Chadwick.
Chadwick
Oh,
Boseman.
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah.
so Denzel's actually supported Chadwick Boseman to get him through not music school, but
Acting school.
school, and he supported him financially. So for on the low, didn't like tell nobody, didn't say anything, and so for Chadwick to be in that movie directed by Ryan Coogler. And to get this one is like a complete whole turnaround. So I totally want to see what they're going to do for this film, if they're going to give any tributes or anything like that. I can't wait for that. That's something to get geeked and hyped about for sure.
Yeah. So, Ryan Coogler is, in the words of Charlemagne the God, he's on a lifetime winning spree.
Fact.
Like he just winning. Like he is just it just keeps going. And I'm happy for that guy, man, because when you watch the interviews with Ryan Coogler, he seems like a really down to earth guy. He's super Cali. People have
Fact.
been blown away at his accent and how Cali he really is. And he
Right.
just seems like the regular hood dude who what I'm saying, was able to live out his dream. So that's dope to see, man. That's dope to hear that he is enjoying himself and living his dream. And, it's inspiring to me as well and many others, to see somebody, actually get a chance and, know that they came from areas where you came from. You know what I'm
Fact.
saying? And they made it. So yeah, shout out to him, man. Looking forward to seeing that movie, man.
Can't wait.
And the BET Awards, happened a few days ago, and by the time this episode comes out, it's probably be a week in between. But so much has been going on. The clips have been coming out, footage has been coming out. But one thing that happened doing this, a lot of these radio stations and stuff set up in the actual local area because they have all these celebrities there, so they can interview them, right? So the Breakfast Club interviewed a lot of celebrities during that time, and during the time where they had Jim Jones sitting at the table, Sierra joins Jim Jones at the table, right? And this is what she talked to him about. She talked to him about him and Chrissy getting married. She basically pressed him about marrying Christy, and we've been hearing this conversation
For years.
for decades now, for literally decades, because they had a TV show and everything. And do you realize, first and foremost, that Jim and Chrissy have been together, I think they said, for almost 20 years,
Yeah.
and no marriage, number one. Number two, I didn't realize until I looked it up today that Chrissy Lampkin is 54 years old, bro.
Yeah.
She's 54.
How old is Jim?
Jim is got to be 44, 45, somewhere in there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So she's all, we've always known that she's older than him, but I
Right.
didn't know she was that much older than him.
Right. Right.
So, that's pretty impressive because she looks amazing to be 54.
Yeah, she do. She do.
Yeah, he's 47.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, that's one of those questions, man. We joke all the time about being the special friend in the obituary when somebody passed away because they never married you. But 20 years, maybe this is just me. I think that's way too long, bro. I think, it teaches own. Now, don't get me wrong, to each his own. Everybody do their own thing. But I think if you're with somebody for that length of time, it's like, dang, why not? Y'all doing everything else. Like, everything else is married except for the actual ceremony and certificate. Why not? Trisha Michelle, what you think?
Go ahead.
20 years, like, you got me effed up. Like, you got me. To each his own. Let me say that, because I'm, y'all do your thing. I'm saying you got me effed up. Ain't no way we basically doing life clearly. So, and I understand that marriage is a piece of paper, and it complicates things for a lot of relationships, and a lot of people are scared of it. And it for me, if that's the case, and you are doing this here thing called life with her, and you've been with her for 20 years, and if that's what she wants now, I'm not sure if that's what Chrissy wants though. So I don't know. But if that's what she wants and that's what she's asking for, if you already been sitting there for 20 years, go marry the woman. Like, I don't know what else you could be doing. Like, why not? So for me, in my world, marriage is of the requirement. And so therefore, not 20, not 10, not like, no, absolutely not. I will be married. That will happen, or you will not be here.
I don't know if that's what she wants though,
Yeah.
because at one point she did. Because during the show, when they had the show, she was asking him, like, I think at one point she literally proposed to him. And that became a big deal back then. So at this point, I'm not sure if that's what she wants. Maybe she's just lost hope, or maybe she just is giving up on it. But I know at one point she wanted to be married for sure.
Yes.
And that sucks if that is what happened, because we all seen, like you said, because I used to watch the show and stuff at one point, little stuff here and there, where she was heavily, she did want that. I'm not sure what occurred, and if she did propose and that, like, that'll definitely be like, you know what, okay, let me just sit here. You're now, embarrassed. You're taking yourself away from that desire slowly, and the more and more he plays around in your face with not doing it, and you just, all you know is him, and y'all have this life built. Well, then you start settling. You start, okay, well, do I really need that? And that sucks. But if she's comfortable in that, then
there you go.
Then hey.
And I think that's what it is. She ain't going nowhere. She got a totally free, clear lifestyle with, rapper, or whatever you want to call him, philanthropist, whatever you want to call him, right? And he knows that. And there's got to be something behind the scenes, obviously, that we don't know, that is preventing it. Maybe that's the way I would think. Like there's something, but at the
Yeah,
end of
him. He don't
like
want it.
20,
It ain't gotta be that deep.
right.
He don't.
But I mean, it's like 20 years. That's a long time. Like that's basically half of my life. You get what I'm saying already. So I can imagine that like
Yeah.
20 years and it's like this is everybody know this your girl. Everybody and their mama, everybody know Chrissy and you. Like I don't even watch. I don't think I've ever listened to really any of Jim Jones' music, but I used to watch that show, so I know her from that situation based off of them never getting married. And this is forever ago when I tuned into that show. So everybody knows this is your girl. At the end of the day, like, what's the issue? Like, why do you don't want to marry her? She's a down to earth chick. She ain't a wildebeest. She looks very respectable. She look like she will clap somebody if they mess with you. All of that which dudes be wanting in the girl is like right there. So I don't get it. I understand, but hey, each his own, right?
Yeah, but like you mentioned, and both of y'all kind of touched on, it's things that go on behind the scenes that we don't know, man.
Yeah.
So we don't know what happened, what occurred, or what transpired for them to not be married at this point. But 20 years is a long time to be together and not be married, though, man.
Facts.
Man.
So, but shout out to them, man. I hope, that things go the way that they want for them to go. And,
Hmm.
Lord forbid when that time comes and you got to make that obituary that, I'm saying they're able to word it correctly and everybody's happy with the wording
I'm
Yeah.
I'm
because a special
sure
friend.
I'm sure she knows if he does. I don't know if he does, but I'm sure she knows if that's he messes around. That's always a possibility, right? So I would hope it wouldn't, but I mean, when you live in that lifestyle, that's what
I mean, he's a rapper, bro.
Right. You
I
get
was
what I'm
gonna say, well, he's frequent in LA quite a bit, and I'm gonna just leave that there.
saying? Right.
Yeah,
You get what I'm
yeah.
saying?
It's
So
pretty
know,
sure he is.
Yeah, I'm
right,
gonna leave that right there. Okay.
right. And he doesn't seem like a dude that cares that much at all about many things, right? So
Maybe that
I don't
might
know.
be her thing. Like, you know what? That's what you're gonna do. I know you do you. You pay for my life, but I don't want to be married to that. Maybe she changed it. I don't know.
Very true. Could be.
Yeah, maybe
And
she
like I
out
said,
there doing her own thing.
it don't seem
That's
like
true too. Shoot,
anyway.
she said you do you, I do me. We do this 20 years plus, and yeah, we carry on.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
carry on. You got a nice lifestyle. You ain't poor. You ain't broke. You ain't. I ain't leaving you hanging and dry. You get what I'm
And
saying?
then, do they have kids?
No, they don't have kids together.
Oh,
Oh
He
wow.
had he has his son was from a previous relationship.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Okay.
right
so
into it.
yeah. Yeah,
And believe it or
pretty
not, some brothers dream of that type
That
of.
was 20 years BC that when he had
yeah.
that child
Oh, Chrissy.
before Chrissy.
Yeah. Yeah. So but yeah, man, it's just and we talk about that situation, but there's many men and women out there who in relationships like that we probably grew up around somebody.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
trying not to say names, but people I know personally
Yeah.
who have been in those situations where they've been with somebody for decades,
Mm-hmm.
and you think that they're married, and then the guy passes away, and then you go to the funeral and you look in the obituary and it says special friend. I'm like, dang, I thought they was married. What
Old
happened?
folks, they shacking up. That's what old folks used to say. They was shacking up, and you was shocked that Brother Deacon never married that girl.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's the crazy
Oh,
stuff,
oh,
man.
y'all were married. So I mean, we've been down that road before, right?
Mm.
Yeah, but speaking of rap power couples, you know what I'm saying? Now Chrissy and Jim, will never be on this level, but as a couple, everybody knows them in the industry, right? But
Right.
everybody knows Jay-Z and Beyonce in the industry. So let's talk about this for a second. You know what I'm saying? And I sent the crew a question earlier, and we're gonna answer this and we're gonna wrap it up. So we gotta say the good stuff for the end. Y'all know we always gonna have a question at the end. So y'all can comment and let us know what y'all thoughts are on this situation. All right, so at their peak, who was a bigger star, Jay-Z or Bow Wow? So you have to think about this carefully
Hmm.
because
At their
because Bow Wow in recent times has become the butt of jokes.
Right.
You know, people have talked about him and the weird stuff that he's done in social media, or Bow Wow's jet when he didn't really have a jet, and those type of things. And they look at things based on money. But we're talking about at their height of their fame, who was the biggest star? Benji, who do you think was the biggest star of those two?
Out of, because I'm not a big Jay-Z fan, I want to believe that he was, even when he came out, he was peak. But I remember Bow Wow in some of everything on every TV show, like in every movies galore, like celebrity basketball. Like I remember because in that space. So I'm going to say at their peak, I'm going to say Bow Wow, just out of the pure idea that I don't really follow Jay-Z that much, and I'm not a huge fan. I'm like not a fan of his music and stuff like that. I can't name 5 songs of his that I think are dope because I really don't listen to him like that. So I'm going to say Bow Wow, just out of that, out of pure ignorance of really who Jay-Z is, right? Because I remember Bow Wow in everything, move from the movies to everything, from clothing to So Def to being around Shaq and Braun and all of that stuff. So I'm gonna say Bow Wow.
Okay, Trisha Michelle, what are your
Uh,
thoughts?
I am glad he said like, he's got a biased opinion a little bit, a little ignorance in there for the lack of knowledge, but with the bias, he, in my opinion, from liking both artists, and kind of an insult to Jay Z a little bit with some of the things that was stated, but Bow Wow, in their prime, not their full career. So we're gonna go prime time, and yes, Bow Wow's prime lasted for a few years versus Jay Z lasted in the decades, and his influence is more monumental. But in their prime, Bow Wow had the world screaming his name. Like we're talking teens, we're talking the household new, we're talking sold out shows, we're talking all in movies, we're talking he's all over the place. He's doing his tours and like the world went crazy for Bow Wow. I had way too many friends that still was like posters and thought they was in love with him, and the way that he hit, like no one, I'm gonna say no one, because there's somebody out there just like there are for Lil Wayne. There's somebody out there for everyone. So for someone at Jay-Z's peak, they was in love with him too. But
Right.
the way the people thought they was in love with Bow Wow, and that was like they was drooling over him, and the women was going crazy. The boys want to dress like him. They want to act like him, like him. So Bow Wow, top prime, biggest. He was the biggest in his prime. And then you go on and you give Jay-Z his respect and his flowers. The most influential, the most that still rocked it, that kept it going, that's still rocking it. And I'm sad that you can only name a couple, but there's a lot of songs that Jay-Z has that are big name songs that
Right.
many people will, as soon as it come on or can name, will know what's going on and rock with it. It's just Bow Wow hit the ground running and made a big stance. And one last thing, speaking of what Big Ken said, the way the world plays with that man is crazy. Like
The little
that is
suit,
it's
right?
crazy the disrespect he receives as if he was not that, well, at the time, that boy.
Right.
Like don't do, like they do him so bad. Like yeah, he might have done some little, I mean, who ain't done some little clown stuff, little stupid stuff
Right.
like the jet thing and this and that, but don't discredit who he was and how he had a majority of y'all ready to huh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yes.
look,
Yes.
that's
Yeah,
my opinion.
yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree with both of you, and I'm a big Jay Z fan. Like I know his whole catalog. I can name every album, pretty much, and I'm so much of a Jay Z fan. The album that people tend to say is his worst album is one of my favorites, but I digress. But yeah, Bow Wow was huge at his peak, and to be quite honest with you, if you going hit for hit catalog wise, if you went to a show, Bow Wow's catalog is tough. It's tough, man. And with him being on the Millennium Tour recently, when it came to Dallas, I had a couple of friends that went and checked out the tour, and I think somebody else closed, Trey Songz or somebody else closed. And I was like, see, that in itself is disrespectful because out of everybody on that Millennium Tour, I don't care who it is, nobody on that tour has a bigger catalog than Bow Wow.
Right.
That's a
So
fact.
he should be closing the show every night, hands down. And if I'm the promoter, that's the smart thing to do because he has the songs that most people are gonna know out of everybody on that show. Nobody's gonna stay and watch Omarion close. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like I like
Yeah.
Icebox, you know what I'm saying? A couple other joints supposed to be, what I'm saying, get up there and perform them joints, but Bow Wow's catalog is ridiculous as far as hit wise and as far as international, recognizable, songs. And as you all stated too, his influence during the time that he was at his peak was absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So so I mean we just have to step back sometimes and take a look at things because I think a lot of the people that were making an argument for Jay-Z, one thing that somebody pointed out to me was Jay-Z gets a lot of look because of Beyonce,
Right.
right? And his songs that came out maybe like in the past 10 years that were hits were not his songs, they were Beyonce songs that he featured on.
Right. Which was
So
been a tactic of his for a long while throughout his career. He'll jump on a song that's super hot and spit a dope verse, and you almost think it's his song.
well,
Like
everybody does that. Every every
right,
every big star does that. I mean, Chris
right,
Brown just did that with Mutt, with
Mud.
Leon Thomas's song Mutt, right? Every big
Well,
artist
if you're
does that.
smart, you do that. I
Yeah,
Yeah,
mean,
every
yeah,
big artist does that, but Jay-Z and has become synonymous with performing, having a song with his wife on just about every album,
right.
right?
yeah.
And then they came out with the whole album together.
Yeah, I like that.
So
I liked it. I
yeah,
ain't lying.
no, I'm not taking anything away from it, but when you talk about him as a artist himself, then you have to go back a pretty good
Mm,
ways to look at, the hit songs. And
right.
just like Benji pointed out, the fact that Benji doesn't know any of his songs, that's that says it right there that a lot of people,
There, yeah.
yeah, were Bow Wow. I don't care who you were, even grandmas was
Yeah,
singing the songs or
Especially the
dancing
little
to the
Bow
song.
Wow. You just don't know. Like somebody
Yeah,
grandma somewhere was singing that.
yeah,
he was like your grandma's baby. He appealed to like so many different audiences because of the kid persona.
Yes.
Caught him as a kid per se, and we all thought he was younger than he was. You get what I'm saying? So it was like that whole appeal, and then it was safe. Some of the stuff was safe to play around your grandma and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So it made your parents love him. You get what I'm saying? So we just came up in that era. So it's like I know him more than I know, most of Jay Z. Because even though I know Jay Z can spit bars, you get what I'm saying? It's like we just, it was safer to listen to that around. So at that time,
Yeah.
yeah. And when you compare two artists like that, again, when you have a kid artist who has a mass appeal, and then you have Jay-Z with more of a street edge to him, and the lyrics are more gritty,
mhm,
so you're not gonna have a bunch of kids listening to the music, and you're gonna have a certain audience listen to it. Where Lil Bow Wow was no certain audience; it was everybody, black, white,
Mm-hmm.
Hispanic, like everybody, anybody was listening to his music. And then he started doing, he started doing movies and TV shows, and he was literally everywhere. 106 in Park for sure. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah, I mean, so his appeal was at his height was massive.
right,
So to me, it's not even a question. It doesn't take anything away from Jay Z because Jay Z is
Yeah.
gonna be who he is. And as they say, Bow Wow may have won the battle, but Jay Z won the war.
Yes,
because
exactly.
at the end of the day, Jay-Z is a billionaire,
Yeah,
and
he's
Bow Wow
fighting
is
with the
not.
money. He's
Yeah, and
fighting.
Bow Wow is not.
I don't even
So,
know Bow Wow worth nowadays.
well, he's worth
Well,
more than me, so that's all I can tell you.
look, right?
So,
Right.
I mean, shout out to him doing his thing. He still has a certain appeal, a certain pull, a certain bravado about him when he enters the room, and women still swoon and run after him. So, and he still got more money than most of us. So, it
Facts.
is what it is. But
He been
shout out
rocking.
to those guys, man.
Wow,
For
he been living comfortably for a while now.
Oh yeah,
But
no
his
doubt.
his
Yeah.
net worth is 1.5 million and Jay-Z's 2.5 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't even subscribe to any of that because I know his network ain't 1.5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just and that don't include a lot
Yeah.
of different
Yeah.
things that they're involved in or still have money residuals coming in,
Yeah.
just passive income from stuff he ain't even a part of anymore. So
Right.
it don't all fully get calculated. So he's
Yeah.
he's he's doing fine.
Yeah. They both, like I said, they both doing better than me. So I ain't gonna
Mhm,
I ain't gonna even be worried about them. They ain't worried about little old me at all. So
Facts.
shout out
mhm.
to them. But yeah, we're gonna wrap this thing up, y'all. We appreciate y'all tuning in, of course, to this episode.
Yes.
We always have fun. We always enjoy, talking about things that are going on right now, having these conversations. If you have any, topics or anything you want us to talk about, anybody you want us to interview, we still love to hear from, what I'm saying, the audience, and love to hear ideas that you all have, because hey, we take those to heart and we try to give you all the content that you're asking for, and the interviews that you're asking for. Of course, we want to interview Jay-Z. We might not be able to get him, but we might be able to get your local artist. So
Mhm.
if you know some local artists that are doing their thing and they're making some noise, what I'm saying, shout us out, and maybe we can get them on and have a conversation with them, because we want to hear from those guys as well. We ain't like yeah, you gotta have this certain amount of albums sold before we interview you. If we see that you're doing work, man, and you got a good following, man, and you got something good going on, we might want to tap in with you for sure.
Facts.
So before we get up out of here, Trish Michelle, talk to the people, let them know something, let them know where to find you on social media.
Um, what do I want to say to y'all? All I know is that okay, look, if anybody out there selling their stamps, no, I'm just kidding. It's summertime and the kids are at home, and for all of you parents that are trying to figure out why the dollars are depleting and the food is being eaten, um, it's because them kids. And so I just want to send my my prayers and hugs out to y'all, because right now these parents probably are not all right, and they had to factor in some extra spending. So, and at the same time, if there is anybody that is selling them, holla at your girl. Anywho, you
Allegedly.
can find me on Instagram, TikTok, what is that? Twitter, whatever, all that stuff, or X, whatever. And the Trisha Michelle underscore TM, and of course the Fiyah Session. You can always find me here. You follow us on YouTube, follow me on Instagram, or follow Fiyah Session on Instagram. You can find me there too. So yeah,
Yeah, she
have a
yeah,
great summer.
she yeah, she's looking for those food stamps allegedly.
Allegedly, yes.
Allegedly.
I'm sorry.
Alleg-
These are for entertainment purposes only.
For
Wink, wink,
yourself,
wink,
for you
wink,
to
wink.
use, and me to show you how to use them.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, Benji Banks, the man, the brand. Talk to the people.
All right, man. That's hilarious, though. But I might plug you in. All right. So, but hey, hey, man. Y'all know where to find me at, man. Benji Banks on Facebook. At my shop, Coat Beauty Supply, Sunny Mead Boulevard, Moreno Valley, California, Monday through Saturday. Got your bundles, your wigs, you know what I'm saying? Got you hooked up, got your braid services, your haircuts. Shout out to my new nail tech that's about to get ready to start so we can create this one-stop shop. You can find us on the Fiyah Session and on Instagram, BRB4701, posting funny stuff, just kind of all around, well-rounded, doing a lot of stuff. So shout out to Men's Mental Health Month. And shout out to the brothers that are actually looking out for the brothers. But this thought into my mind because I saw it today is that Sinners, the movie by Ryan Coogler, is grossing. It is the highest grossing movie domestically in like what the last, I think it said ever or the last 15 years. So that brother's doing an amazing job, right? But it brought me back to the thought of when he first created Creed. He was $200,000 in debt, and he was just, trying to figure out his dream. But he had this gift, this movie that he wanted to put out, and he's trying to do it all while in debt. So I can imagine the struggle he was going through at that time, and to look at him now. And as an encouragement, I want to say, man, I know brothers out there, you might be going through, you might be dealing with something, you might be faced with some challenges. But man, if you got a gift, if you got an anointing, if you got an idea that you believe is super dope, don't give up on it, because once that thing blossoms, and I believe it will for you, my brothers, keep going, man. And I encourage every last one of y'all out there, man, to stay positive, get in some positive spaces, some positive circles, and grow, man. Keep going, keep growing, keep glowing, for sure.
All right, all right, all right. Well, y'all can find me at Big Ken on Fire on all social media platforms. On Facebook, just type in Big Ken. Make sure you like and subscribe the Fiyah Session page on YouTube. Hit that like and subscribe button, and make sure you hit that little bell notification so you'll be notified every time we post a new episode or we post new clips, and you won't miss out on anything. I just want to leave you all with this thought: the things that break you are the things that make you. Have faith. Your time is coming. Just be patient.
Yeah.
And with that said, y'all already know how we do. It's the Fiyah Session. So make sure that you all keep tapping in, keep showing love. We love you. Stay on fire. Peace.
Thank you for tuning in. Please make sure you follow us on all social media platforms.